I'm currently getting inspired a lot. Like I'm getting very inspired. So I figured I was going to bring you into that because this is going to lead to something, and you will see what as it leads to it.
Thanks. So under this one, you have your S-bar heater, storage, and more storage over here. I carpet lined everything, and there's a fun little table as well. This thing's one of those old school tables you can use for setting out food if you're dining. Automatic lighting, so when you lift it up, you can see under there, and that about does it for this area. Under this area, excuse me, miss. So the way I did the cushions, because you don't want to just toss them everywhere, under this compartment, most of them stay up top. This one goes away, hides inside here, and that way it's out of the way for when you're going to do your Murphy bed. In terms of what's under here, you've got your two 30 amp DC to DCs, your MPPT breaker, what was that movie, Fifth Element? Multi-pass. How many people said that before? 2,000 watt Purion 12 volt and 110 breaker box. This is 295 lithium SOK battery and your Lynx distribution panel. I think there's a couple fuses lined up top, and then ventilation, so when it gets too hot, as well as the Servo GX for the water and the touchscreen. Sequoia from Phoenix Off-Grid Build, who will also be in the link. He is my go-to right-hand man when it comes to building these builds, so thank you very much, Sequoia. One other thing, your 5-gallon propane. Next, I'm going to show you the bed. So what I like to do, I take the extra cushions, they stay there. I like to use one at times because it's wood. It tends to just kind of soften it and get rid of a little bit of that creak. So I like to leave this, and it takes up a little bit of that gap. But essentially, you're resting on this mount as well as a mount over here and the hinges themselves. So that comes down, see how it gives a little cushion, just makes it a little nicer. And you have, I think it's technically, it's about 4 by 6. That's where we're at on this bed, give or take. I'll show you the extension bed in a second, or the guest bed. In terms of up here, come on up there, Patrick. Whew. Lighting, you can have your beer or your wine, or your juice. USB port. And down below, I did a nice bar down below even further. I continued the theme to give it that enchanting look. This thing almost took my hand. So I was doing a channel out of one of the rips, and when I was pushing it through, the channel kicked back and shot a piece of wood. You can kind of see it, but it shot it directly in between my fingers into the bone, and I yanked it out, and I had to go to the hospital for 3 rounds of antibiotics that were like 8 hours long. And so I got a blow dart of walnut in my hand from this bad boy. So I earned that one. Moving on to here, and just in general, this is oak, so this isn't walnut. This is oak, just milled, painted. This switch is for 110 back there, which hooks up to the projector that I have a mount that goes here, and the projector shoots over there, and you have a nice screen so you can lay in bed and watch your Bluetooth. scenario as well as outside and pull it in and out. These little guys, I found lampshades, just mini lampshades, cut them, and then I used the upside down part to kind of look like a filament. They're just stylized and they're just standard 12 volt. I mentioned the bed extension and I want to show you how that works. Don't freak out, little girl. So the butcher block counter in the kitchen comes off. Excuse me. I don't want to scare. So this goes here. This comes up. These attach somehow or another. There we are. And you have your foot mount, which locks up under here. And the cushions go onto here and now fill the gap, and you have a 6x6 bed. You can run a curtain and have like a guest scenario or just an extended bed if you want to do it that way. So that's like a nice addition. When the bed extension is down and the butcher block countertop is up, that gives you access to your 𝐈SOTEMP water heater. Excuse me again, Miss Fluffy Butt. It's a 5.1 gallon 𝐈SOTEMP. You've got your pump accumulator filtration system, and there's also a 110 hookup in case you want to rig out the 𝐈SOTEMP to the 110 and not run it off of your solar. So that way you have two ways of getting your water heater going on through there. We're going to move on to the kitchen. I'm going to fold up the bed. This is my happy place, my domain. I love kitchens. I tried to get as much out of the kitchen as I could in relation to everything else. But what you have here is dinner for tonight. Just kidding. You have a cool skull, rocks that are fake. That just kind of plays with the theme, some fake moss. You have your 110. You have your dimmer switch for your floral light bar. You have lighting underneath. And then these two switches are for the outdoor warm and cold lighting, so you can have outdoor dining or whatever you want. More lighting up here. Open concept. The dishware itself kind of scattered through Etsy, found medieval websites. Each piece was individual. It was kind of hard to find all this stuff, and you know, you have your enamel shell. You've got custom wood plates. You've got really neat wood coasters. I built these two little rigs for teas and coffee. I thought that was kind of a unique way to do it, because when you're traveling, a lot of times having like a coffee setup can be cumbersome, so I thought that was a nice way to streamline that. Some spun iron and cast iron jars. Love it. I love this style of stuff. And I think it's nice that it's open concept and it's tightly tucked away, so it really doesn't bounce around. It just works. And I put cork down below, if you can see it, a burnished cork, just for style and for comfort. Down here, this is where you have your cookware, more custom, fun plateware. Walnut sapilli, also the bed support. This comes down, acts as that support. That's why it's stationary. Copper backsplash with copper nails. It's a silicone movable faucet, hot cold, with your custom inlaid sink. Have some nice leaves there. Your pump switch is here, one of them. The other one is in the bathroom. So that way it's not in your eyes, but if you leave it on at night, that's why I did the green. Hi, Mama. You got your funny little guy. I don't know if you can say this, but sex is like pizza. When it's good, it's very good. And when it's bad, it's still pretty good. I thought it was funny. More copper pots, oils, stainless steel, salt, pepper, more copper, more walnuts, sapilli, etc. And apothecary with lights, fan. Sorry, we skipped that, but your fan down there, fan and light switch. And just in case Jason comes after you, quick access, baby. And these guys. Oh, stove and oven. Propane, 3-burner, GM. That's all I got to say about that. You have this I did on carpet because I found with the slides inside there can be too much weight or kind of awkward, and I didn't want to have to pull them out, so I just did it to where it's just kind of a free-floating drawer. More cabinetry. And this is my darling's bathroom. Her scratch pad. And then you have more, ooh, that was a terrible noise. You have more compartments. I didn't do some trim there, ignore that. Over here, compartments. This, I left the bolts on so you could take it off so you could access your water system in case you have to fix the sink or whatnot. And just place for paper towels, etc. Towel rack. And if you want to do like a scrub brush or something. And this is your latch. Excuse me, miss. Sorry. This is your latch to keep this steady so it doesn't fall. Another thing I want to show you is the door. Let's not crush my Tiffany lamp. I have some friends up there. That's Peter, Beatrice, Snowy, and James. I'm just kidding. I don't know the names, but that fits. Blackout curtains. This is the 𝗏𝐿𝐼 air conditioning system, 12 volt. It's nice. I don't know what to say about it. It's really nice. You look it up. Isotherm, 4.7 liter, I believe, fridge, freezer combo, some crusty ice. Up here, more cabinetry. They're adjustable. Sorry, mate. They're adjustable, so if you want to do it different yourself. And I did compartments there, as well as, I love jars. I have an affinity for them, so I did it that way, and I liked it. Watch your eyeballs real quick. Oh, I'm sweating, baby. Light, I just want to show you that. That's enough of that. Up here, this is one side of my surround sound system. So they're Bluetooth. I have 2 of them, a USB port up there, and then this way you can take them in or out if you're at the beach. And it's nice because this Bose system has a left and right channel, so you have surround sound. So I did one up here, echoes off the ceiling, and the other one you can put where, and you get your left and right. It's really nice. And it's magnetic for ease of access. You have a vanity, more adjustable shelving to your liking. You have a stuck compartment, and this is for your delicates, so you don't want them to get them all messed up. And that way you have enough room with auto lighting as well. I did this for shoes or whatever you'd like to access there. Welcome to the medieval bathroom of the enchanting castle. This, my dear friends, is where you can do your business, get yourself pretty, feel fancy for the night, and just do your duty. Down here, we have penny round. There are gold accents in here. If you look really closely, they didn't show up that much, but just know that I tried and I wanted to accent with it. And this is epoxy grout, not your standard grout. Very durable, very good. You have your gray water drain system. Under here, you can access and see where your water tank is, as well as your drain offs. And there is another hookup under there. So during winter time, if you want to travel, you can add your temperature mat, and you can rig that with another 12-watt under there. I left that. Don't look, the birds are bathing. Again, 𝐂𝐶𝐞, love it. More storage. More storage. You have another pump switch, so you don't have to go back and forth. And there's your shower, which you rig up there. You hook your curtain, so you can get this area just a bit more safe. This is acrylic wallpaper. It's technically waterproof, and everything is latex-based and 𝐂𝐸𝐴𝐸𝐶. So technically, you could get this wet, minus some of the wood, which is does have a really heavy-duty wax on it, but it's nicer to cover it. Bronze faucets, hot and cold. You have custom mirror, underlighting, overhead lighting, plant access piece, window with some flowers inside, and this is a plastic beveled round window, so again for waterproofing. More support and custom wood piece of a beautiful lady. This is your handle for closing the door. These are some hooks for wetsuits or whatnot. Toilet paper with old school. And I just put my toothbrush in that compartment. Moving on to the toilet. You have your hatch system with your Tralino kitty litter style human toilet, 500 pounds. And just in case somebody comes to attack you while you're doing your business, you have this awesome fire hose. It's way too much pressure, but it's great for outdoor showers and kicking those spirits' butt. Does that do what you wanted it? Okay. You got a broom and the garage. Up here, USB. You have 110, 12-volt with a switch, and more outdoor lighting, so as well on both sides, warm and cold, depending on what side of the van you want to hang out at night or for protection. I'll leave that on for a second to see the rest. The cork with tabs, I have a container, and that's where I rig my surfboard, but you can put whatever you'd like there. Also some storage underneath, and my buddy Justin gave me this box. If you come around to the driver's side over here, I've got 2 fans. This is for your refrigerator ventilation. This is for the cooking ventilation, and your ladder to get up top, and as I mentioned, your warm and your cold lights. You have your Norco Outsource 110. Up top, custom roof rack. Inside is 2 185-watt panels, and just clear space for air conditioning, your max air fan, and if you want, you can sit up in a little patio area to check out the sunset. Nothing too modified up there, though. On this side, as I mentioned, your 2 lighting systems. You have your water fill with lock, and we're back to the beginning. Oh, step. Low profile step, so you don't you can get around most places with that.
Before I do a recap of like what this thing has, because I've been taking notes the whole entire time, I want to say you are an artist. This is a work of art. There's so much time. I think you started this in October. We started talking about it. Here it is, July. It's done. Now, you don't live in the van, but you build it and you test it out. You make sure everything works in it. But then you sell them when you're done, because then you move on to the next project. So you might be building another van. You might be building a cottage. Who knows, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's what you do, and I love it. Everybody loved the last van you did. I think they're really going to love this van. It's model year, what, 2023 ProMaster, 2024?
2023.
2023 ProMaster.
3500 extended.
Extended, and it's got, what, a few thousand miles on it. Love the color. It's a window van, so it has a window here in the sliding door. Is that how it came, or you added
No, I added the window.
You added the window.
I didn't want to do the sliding window. I don't like more moving parts than I need to, sort of thing.
And you have enough lithium to run that 12-volt air conditioner you had on for a while before I got here. You have the solar on the roof. You got freshwater tank and a big Murphy bed. I love it. And the character is amazing. So what was like the hardest part of this? Like, what was the biggest challenge that you had building this one versus the last one?
They were both challenging in terms of where I had to build them. So the first one, I was in a dirt lot and I was living in it during summertime, and I was pulling my stuff in and out of a tent, and I thought that sucked until this one, which the first place I lived was crazy noisy neighbors, no shower, and I was working in the elements during the winter time, which then I went to another place midway, which had no running water. So I had to, you can imagine, no running water, and it was dilapidated, leaky roof, and it was literally snowing while building this one. And it was a very cathartic experience, both of them. So that was definitely the biggest challenge. Other than that is usually just picking a theme, because you want to try to have something that's magical, but not tacky. Like, you want to be able to have people want to live in it and buy it, but not it, you know, obviously be something that people are turned off by.
I get Harry Potter vibes, like, looking at this, but it's not a Harry Potter theme, right? Where, like, someone really has to be loving Harry Potter. It's enchanting.
Enchanting's the word that I like to use. And I love, a lot of my tattoos are things that are that medievally sort of whimsical, outside of the normal realm lifestyle. So bad at saying what I'm trying to say with this stuff. Y'all know what I mean. And I just try to bring that into these, because to me, when you're living them and you're traveling, you're already living an alternative lifestyle. So it might as well have something that you can lay in at night and feel the entire surrounding atmosphere kind of tie into what you're doing. So I really do put a lot of thought into trying to make these things have a lot of character, and I go through painstaking process of just finding random stuff, and it sort of creates itself, and I try to find that fine line, like I said, between like play and professionalism. One thing I wanted to mention was Eden and Nicole at Ananda Builds. I saw their build, and they took almost the same exact setup, where the bedroom's in the front, the bathroom's in the back. And I hit them up, and I was like, listen, like, I love your build. You inspired me to do this. So thanks for them to be open-minded, because they were like, yeah, we would love to see it. And I kicked it with them and just talked a little bit about how they built it. And so they definitely inspired me to spin the standard build. So thank you very much for that. Other shouts out are, like I said, Dana, who did my epoxy bars, and Sequoia at Phoenix Outdoor Builds, because without those people, none of this would be possible, as well as Patrick. You're the man.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me over to check it out, because, you know, I geek out on stuff like this. And in case you guys are wondering, you actually saw Ed and Nicole's van here on New Jersey Outdoor Adventures. I featured their van on the tour. You guys loved it. And they wound up selling that van. They're building other things now. And Anthony, you will be selling this van because someone is going to get really excited about this, just as excited as me.
Well, I hope so. It will be up for sale. Contact me through my page, about my About page, and I'll have all the information. Just give me a ring, give me an email, open book on how this thing is built, what's in it, and what to expect. And thanks. I don't think I have anything else to say. Except...
Sure, I'll have you on again, right? You're going to be building...
Hey, I got to chase her down. Hold on. I have one trick for y'all. She sings. Ready? Let's sing for the people. I said, boom, 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 and let me hear you say, way-oh. Good job, Mama.
Wow. That became a lot. You see, in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to take all the notes. Holy crap, this is amazing. Oh shit, didn't know you could do that. And it just kept on coming, you know. And then he came to the bathroom, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. This is a very interesting approach. Is he sitting there on the left side and then, you know, with an open door? Or how does this work? And then he went into opening the latch and just pulling out the toilet. And it was like, oh my God. You know, I've lived in a van. I have been traveling a little bit. It was out of necessity, but I was extremely fortunate, as well as this was an apocalyptic event in my life. But I lived in a van with another person and a dog. So it was a whole new lifestyle. It was a whole new thing to adapt to, like the hairs of the companion, and power and water, where to shower, cooking, you know, sleeping and being comfortable wherever you are, being charged, having these things set so that you don't come back to a car that is frozen down and almost destroyed because you didn't think of the elements you're going to have it in, and you name it. Just, and the accessibility, four-wheel drives and all that stuff that people don't really think about when it comes to, let's say, living in a Norse environment. I was looking at this and was like, oh my God, I'm going to call my dude. I'm going to have him inspired as hell. I'm going to get that car. I'm going to just start building this thing. And I also know Harald Viking, you know, who had a bus, one of those old yellow school bus thingies, and he elevated the roof on that thing, and he had a bunch of insanely inspirational content in terms of what he was doing with this bus to turn that into one of these experiences to live in. And I have many people who are very much into this whole goal and vision and dream, and they want to do the same. So there's going to be a lot of different collaborators and note comparisons and, you know, all the things that comes from several people doing the same thing. Then you have it's like surfing, you know, or whatever you do, where you meet up somewhere and you just do the thing you love together, and you share the stories by the campfire at night, and just living in that element is a completely different vibe. Completely. And I have this conviction that it is 100% possible, if not even better, to live like that in our modern society. Because today, everything is getting more and more expensive. It's getting more and more hard to live in the normal mainstream way. And more people are kind of missing out on the freedom aspect of life, where they have to live at a certain location to be able to go to the job they hate, so they are able to fund their lifestyle that they have been given over the evolution of their career or life or whatever. Like, we end up in a certain position, and after a while, who knows, maybe we just, I'm kind of regretting having this life, like this job or this thing that is keeping you from having that feeling of freedom in your own life. It should be completely, you know, fulfilling and loving and epic and all that stuff all the time, in my opinion. That doesn't mean that it has to be positive. Like, people are like, but you can't live in a fucking blah, blah, blah. I don't fucking care what you think. I just know that if you have the contrast of living, if you have been extremely poor, if you've been homeless, and you've felt how it is to live a luxurious life or whatever, and you have the full spectrum to the degree that you have gone on the spectrum and the contrast, it is possible to kind of meet it at the middle and just balance it out. And then when you have that, you're kind of, limitless in terms of what you can do because you're present. You're right here, And if you have something that you are aspiring to do, something you want to create, a goal, a dream, a passion, a project that you can turn into a lifestyle, which is very much highly possible today. I mean, seriously. If you don't, there are so many ways. So I have this conviction that if I can just have this going now, I can show people that it is possible. And it's going to fulfill on many different parts of what I've been trying to achieve as well. But most importantly and interestingly is going to be the part where I am a parent. I am a father of 2 adventurers in this life. And to live this type of lifestyle requires a whole bunch of planning and facilitation for other parts of your life. Because I'm doing this kind of as a story where I'm trying to inspire the people coming after to kind of get into the practical skill learning phase and learn how to learn and then just be curious enough to try new things. Turn, oh, what if? Into, what if? And I think that is done through inspiring stories and inspiring adventures and just having to just take part in those. Be inspired by the story. And I have already proven it with my kids in terms of sparking that adventurous little spark in them and having them approach life with a more adaptive and more practical and more self-centered, autonomous and an aligned way, authentically to them, to who they are and what they want to do. Not like, but I will teach you what you're going to be in this world as you grow up and get confused about everything that we have put in front of you. All those things. I could go on a tangent for ages, but instead, I just tried to document through these videos as best as I could. So there's a whole bunch of context if you just check out the other videos. But this is where I'm going to go now. I'm going to have a Norse-inspired, Norse-themed van. And that is going to be practical as hell. And in terms of, the actual car, having it four-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive that I can travel freaking vertically with if I want to, almost. Like I've said this for so long. I want a vehicle where I can almost travel wherever I want, within reason, of course, but there are ways today. There are things that we can do today if you're just willing to go and see if it's possible. And I'm gonna freaking see if it's possible because I've been seeing so many confirmations. I just saw a freaking Hobbit van. And I was like, oh my god, that is it. There it is. There it freaking is. And so to bring it back to the point, I was taking notes all throughout until he said that he's selling these things. And I'm like, oh, but damn, you're a human? I can reach out to you? We can have things planned? Frick! I might actually be able to see the build as it takes place on another side of the planet. And then have it brought over or having to pick it up or whatever that adventure is going to be like. Who the hell knows? I just know that it has been done before. People have been doing that for ages. Since there were cars, they've been shipping them all over. Now, if you have people who love what they do, who has a practical sense of thinking, and who lays it out in a very freaking efficient way, and then adding the magic and the theme on top of that, yeah, those are the things that brings tears to the eyes of men. And I think I know a lot of you who would agree with that. Because this is gonna be freaking epic. The only thing I'm thinking is how to add that remote studio vibe where you can create across dimensions. Being physical in a van like this and being able to create with the freedom I have here, which is, it doesn't take a lot, to be honest. So it's very, 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 very achievable. I'm just thinking out loud to see, can I somehow merge this build with something like the one of Trent the Traveler and have this lifestyle be, because why not? Like, I'm starting to see that there are not many limitations. That excites me. That's what got me all driven up about life as well, because if you get to the point where you have like, my understanding of this is to a point where I see that I have no freaking arguments. It makes sense, That's what I like. I like to be critical to the point where I just go to the depth of a thing and I find the core. And if that core is authentic, if that core just checks out, if that core enables freedom and balance, then I'm at the right place. Then I'm at my core, you know? I'm so excited for some reason. We're also going into the whole adventurous global traveling thing of the Legacy Forge, and that is, you know, so it's fueling up. I can't imagine what this is going to be like in 6 months. It's my energy, because I've been observing my energy and documenting the process. How far is it able to go, you know? And I'm still under the conviction that there is no limit. You can be freaking excited about things that makes no sense, to be honest. I get excited by having trees in my pocket. Pine cones and acorns. If you think about it, there are fucking trees that you can have in your pocket. And that's pretty magical to me. It's that energy of life, you know? Life. All right, I'm not gonna continue this further. I think that this is going to be very interesting to embark on. If you want to take more part of this, subscribe, comment, share the videos. Let's expand the tribe. And speaking of tribe, if you want to get into the tribe, find our Discord server. There are many ways to do that. The reason I'm not giving you a direct call to action or a link right now is because it's kind of hard. But we have used just whatever we have. The legacyforge.com/tribe or Discord, legacyforge.net.discord. I don't know. We have many, but the websites are up and down and all over and being mystical, which is by design almost at this point. But if you want to find the actual tribe community, just reach out, comment the question about where to join. I will gladly add the link down below somehow. And then that's it. Let's go adventuring. Let's go forge a frickin' legacy.